When the Carter Center sends observers to an election, they're widely regarded by all parties as fair and impartial, trusted to provide independent assessment of the election's outcome, a reputation solidly linked to the integrity of former President Jimmy Carter.
My statue as an election observer leader is derived from the character of the Carter Center. We are completely without authority except our moral and ethical authority. When a statement is made on behalf of the Carter Center by me or other leaders, that statement is almost always accepted without question.
The Carter Center is a pioneer of international election observation, sending missions to observe more than 60 elections worldwide since 1989.
I think our mere presence here is felt by people in terms of they're more likely, perhaps, to play according to the rules.
Impartial election observers deter interference or fraud in the voting process, reassure voters they can safely and secretly cast their ballots, and give them confidence there will be no tampering with vote counting. The Carter Center sends observers only with an invitation from a country's electoral authorities and a welcome from its major political parties. Observers do not interfere in the political process, but provide an independent assessment of the election and publicize it widely, adding their support that the election reflects the true will of the voters. On Election Day, that requires attention to detail, sampling polling sites, checking for party poll watchers, assessing preparedness of officials, listening to feedback from voters.
Dallas was 307. They've got 300 voters registered here.
One of us will watch the part of the process where they're showing their identification cards. Another one of us will watch the part where it's being entered into a computer.
It's very important to see how many people actually turn up, whether it's spread evenly, whether there's not too many problems, things go smoothly.
Observers watch poll closing and ballot counting, tracking the process from the ballot box to the final tabulation of votes by electoral authorities, sending all their reports back to the Carter Center's mission headquarters.
The biggest challenge is trying to pull together a lot of different information from all around the country. Different observers are seeing different things, and ensuring that you pull all those together in a way that you've got a relatively representative picture around the country.
After cross-checking observations with credible domestic observers, the Carter Center's mission issues a final report.
And I want to congratulate the people of this country, the candidates, the election officials, and the courts for doing such a superb job.
In countries afflicted by extreme lack of trust or political polarization, this observation process helps to avoid violence and strengthen fragile democracies.
Make an attempt to provide a credible assessment of that.
Every election monitoring mission begins long before Election Day with comprehensive research and detailed briefing on what observers need to know.
How the campaigns were financed, how they ran, how politics works, what the rules are, all of which is something that can't be assessed in a short period of time on Election Day.
The number 5 candidate had no votes.
And after each election, the Carter Center continues to monitor the growth of democratic institutions and participation by citizens in the political process.
We think it's very important to think of election processes as something more than balloting and initial counting on Election Day, but rather a political process that unfolds over time. And because of that, we've been committed for a long time to the idea of long-term monitoring.
Election monitoring is a major part of the Carter Center's democracy program, promoting genuinely democratic and just societies around the world, upholding the rights of people to govern themselves and elect their own leaders.